Hey, this is a response to Makavelli Millz. And this is actually in response to two videos he did, but I'm gonna put them in one. I'm gonna put a link to those two videos down in the comment section. And what they're both on, one's on how sometimes black men, and he mentions black women doing this as well. Black men put down black women just to big up other races of women, and same thing with black women. And the other video that I particularly liked was how black men be chasing after women and how it's so corny. I got a response for that, young man. It's from an older black man's perspective. And if the audio drops out in some parts, it's because I did edit it a little bit, where I'm going the cleaner route, but there were a couple of cases where I maybe dropped a few swears, but not angrily or anything. But anyway, enjoy. Hey, shout out to Makavelli Millz. And let me interject this right here with this response to two of his videos. Both links will be down in the comments section. You'll be seeing pictures of females going across, and I chose a mixture of females, and I did that for a reason. First, let me address the video where he talked about black men who put down black women, and he even mentioned black women doing the same thing, who put down black men just to big up their different race partner. Let me say this. I've said this many times. I have nothing against interracial dating. Heck, if I wasn't so blinded by the pro-black rhetoric, I probably could have been married, maybe even had a kid or two by now. Because there have been some good women who just happen to be of the Caucasian persuasion that I probably could have dated and probably even had a family with by now. But I was so focused on, it had to be a black woman. Even though most of the black women I was trying to holler at, and admittedly I was goofy and stupid. And there's another video that he made that I'm going to address later in this one, which what I was getting ready to say, I'll save that for that part. But getting back to this, I totally agree with him. And let me say this, young man, you are way ahead of me. I wish I had some of your thinking in my 20s. I mean, I got it now, started getting it in my late 30s, and I got it now almost in my mid 40s, but you're ahead of me, so you're definitely ahead of the game. But I do think it is dumb. And I also think it's dumb when people attack black people for not being with, let's say, someone of color, which I think is totally ridiculous. Like back when Michael Coulter starred in the now canceled Luke Cage, which is still, the 2 seasons that did air are still on Netflix, by the way, just because he was married to a white woman. When that white woman was with him, and I apologize for calling her that, but I don't know her name. That white woman was with him when no one knew who he was. And they've been together for 18 years, and I think he's got a couple of kids with her. What, he's supposed to dump her now that he's famous? Isn't that the same thing we accuse black men of doing when a black woman stands beside him for years and then he all of a sudden dumps her for, more famously, a white woman or even a younger black woman? But it's funny, when it's the younger black woman, nobody says anything. Nobody really says much, but when it's the white woman, everybody's up in arms. At the end of the day, people are going to do what they want to do. But getting back to Makavelli Millz' point about praising him up. First off, if you gotta do that, first of all, people like that are corny and stupid. Second of all, if I was that white woman or whatever race she is, and my man who just happens to be black is doing that just to raise me up, I would feel kind of funny. And if she doesn't feel kind of funny about it, she might be suspect herself. But my question to that would be, why? If you got a good woman that just happens to be white, be happy with that good woman. You ain't got to put down your own. Like, if I got with somebody right now, and let's say she just happens to be Chinese, yeah, I'm gonna love her. I'm gonna big her up, but I'm not gonna put down my black woman just to big her up. I'm not gonna put down the black woman just to big her up. Just like I'm sure she's not gonna put down her race of man just to big me up. And I wouldn't want her to. I would not want her to. And if she did, I would be feeling some kind of way. So I'll be like, oh, so you're saying if I was Chinese like you, but had the same characteristics personality wise, you wouldn't date me? And if I was that different race person of the black men that do this, I would challenge them like that. I mean, I just think it's just corny and ridiculous. That's why I quit with the pro-black rhetoric a couple of years ago, because when it comes down to it, it's just, and I refuse to call it reverse racism, because if racism's bad, shouldn't reverse racism be good? You know what I'm saying? I just call it, what it is. It's basically almost the same rhetoric that a Klansman or skinhead would say, but you're just putting black faces on it instead of white. Now to the other video in which you talk about how black men, and this is advice for men in general, that's just be trying to chase down a woman and stuff. First of all, that's corny. Second, it's stuff that I probably used to do, and I ain't gonna lie, I almost got I'll put it bluntly, I almost got my kicked when I was young for doing that. And quite frankly, as an adult, I mean, you look creepy and stalkerish. If you compliment a woman one time and she answers back, just say you're welcome, keep it moving. But this is what I've come to learn through hard experience. If a woman is really, really interested in you, she will come at you. She will let you know she's interested. And you know what? If you blow it or whatever, just learn from the experience, move on. Just learn from the experience and move on. And you know what? Sometimes life has something better for you. Maybe the one that you chasing down and was so thirsty for, maybe he wasn't all that. Because you know what? Because I've lost women before. They try to holler at me, or maybe I got with them, but then they weren't all what they cracked up to be, and they wanted me to be a certain way, and I'm like, nah, I ain't with that. Instead of just getting with the person they was looking for, they try to make you into that person. And anytime you try to force something, it never works. And let me say this, that aggressive style, guys, nah. Especially if you a man of color, nah. I ain't going to jail or looking creepy just for some booty. I mean, that's some it is. It ain't worth it. And what Makavelli Millz was talking about was guys that keep DMing. Meanwhile, she laughing at you. Probably she's showing her girlfriends and they laughing at you. And probably the man she is dating is laughing at you because you look corny. I mean, that's stuff that you do when you in elementary school or junior high, maybe even high school, maybe even college. But once you get past 25 years old and you still doing that, just trying to slide in people's DMs and all that stuff. No, not to mention you just look creepy. Not to mention corny. I know I've used corny many times, but you know what? You're just playing yourself. You look like a joke. And I've never been that aggressive of a person. I mean, I know you got to go out and get it, but sometimes when it comes to this dating game, sometimes it's better if they come to you. And trust me, if you're putting yourself out as thorough and as somebody that's got something, trust me, they'll come to you. They'll come find you. And you also got to quit being thirsty depending on the class. You got to go for your level. You know, in a guy in my position, I don't claim to be all high class and everything, but a guy in my position, at my age, I ain't got time to be chasing after the hood rats just because they got a fat ass. No, I ain't got time for that. Ain't got time for it. Ain't got time to deal with all that. Because you be trying to bring in a lot of baggage with that too. And I'm like, no, I mean, take the example of the picture that's popping up right now of Marjorie Harvey. I know her and Steve Harvey recently came out of a video act like, oh, nothing's wrong with our marriage and this and that. But we'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell on that. But to me, that's why any advice that he gives, and I'll use Steve Harvey for example, any advice he gives, I take with as one of my friends likes to say, with a massive grain of salt. Because just because he older, that don't mean he wiser. Because there's some old fools out here too. It ain't just the young bucks. There's some old fools out here too that act just as bad or worse than the young bucks that are out here. I mean, there's some old dudes still playing the same games that they were when they was like 20 and something, not realizing that you 60 something and you too old for that. You too old for that. And fellas, and this is to any man. I mean, I know I said I'm talking to black men, but this is any man can use some of this advice. This is one thing you can definitely don't do it on the job. Okay? I don't care if you're making minimum wage or if you're making 6 figures. Ain't no woman worth you losing a paycheck over. I don't care. Leave them alone. I don't care what race they are. They say, man, leave them white women alone. I'll be like, no, goofball. No, leave any of them alone when it comes to your job. I don't care if it's a sister. Leave them alone. Ain't no woman worth losing your paycheck over. No woman is worth losing your paycheck over. You know, I ain't trying to, you know, I might say, hello, how you doing? And I keep it moving when it comes to females at the job. Not to mention, most of them are young enough to be my daughter or my niece or something. So, nah, bro, it ain't the move. I mean, you look corny, you look creepy, not to mention desperate. So, that's really all I got to say on those 2 videos. Like I said, I'll have the links for them down in the description box. And really, that's all I got to say. I'm out.